Welcome, tech executives and product managers, to this explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. We're literally standing at the edge of a massive paradigm shift in how we build software and solve user problems. We are officially moving away from the era of manual design sprints, endless sticky notes, and those isolated engineering phases. Instead, we're entering the age of the autonomous AI product lifecycle. Today, we're going to break down exactly what that means for you and your teams. So take a look at this. This is a version 2.0 playbook, and I gotta tell you, it is absolutely incredibly exciting because it fundamentally changes the sheer speed of engineering and design thinking. We aren't just talking about accelerating human tasks anymore. Actually, scratch that. It's way bigger than that. We're talking about a completely new architecture where artificial intelligence agents handle the entire discovery to deployment lifecycle entirely autonomously. It's a beautifully intricate system, like a giant puzzle coming together, and we're gonna map the whole shebang out for you today. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the Agentic Workflow revolution, then look at automating empathy and discovery, problem redefinition and ideation, prototyping and continuous iteration, and finally, wrap up with the zero latency flywheel. This agenda is going to guide us right from the big picture macro shift all the way down into the micro details of this new lifecycle. All right, Section 1, the Agentic Workflow revolution. I want you to think about our traditional human speed model for a second. You know the one: manual user interviews, endless walls of sticky notes, weeks of grueling manual API testing, and those strict bi-weekly sprints. It's comfortable, sure, but it is just full of painful, slow bottlenecks. Now, contrast that with the agentic machine scale system we see emerging right here. On this side, we've got ambient tracking, instant cross-referencing by specialized agents, and continuous self-healing code loops. The difference here isn't just a bump in speed, it's a massive leap in scale, in continuous momentum. As you'll see here in this transition, the discovery phase completely transforms. Manual interviews, they're totally replaced by ambient multimodal action tracking. You literally don't have to ask the user what went wrong anymore because the system already knows. And in the ideation phase, instead of a dozen brainstormed ideas thrown up on a whiteboard, an LLM instantly generates hundreds of how might we statements, and financial models rank them before a human even lays eyes on them. Weeks of manual API testing turn into instant cross-referencing by system and legal agents. This right here, this is what machine scale actually looks like in practice. To really understand how this engine works, we need a solid mental map. The new autonomous design thinking lifecycle operates in these 5 distinct phases. 1. Empathy and discovery. 2. Problem redefinition. 3. Ideation and feasibility. 4. Prototyping. And 5. Continuous agentic iteration. As we go forward, keep in mind that every single friction point a user experiences is going to travel right through this exact micronarrative. And looking at this visual overview, I really want to emphasize that this is a fully interconnected engine. It is not your typical stop-and-go process. Machine learning identifies the friction, system agents check the constraints, code assistants build the functional mockups, and then observability agents trigger the new sprints. Basically, one phase feeds directly into the next, continuously without missing a beat. Moving on to Section 2, automating empathy and discovery. Now, what's really interesting about this next phase is how it completely flips our traditional research methods on their head. So in Phase 1, we deploy what are called ambient agents. By taking in multimodal inputs like audio, video, click streams, the AI records, transcribes, and analyzes user actions in real time. It automatically maps the journey to find those annoying process bottlenecks, and it actually synthesizes sentiment to categorize hidden frustrations. You capture all of this without ever asking the user a single question. The result? Dynamic personas. The AI continuously updates empathy maps based on actual operational data, plotting things like user frustration against time efficiency. It's essentially empathy, quantified and completely automated. All right, let's shift into Section 3, problem redefinition and ideation. So what do we do with all that data? Well, in Phase 2, predictive agents take all those captured friction points and start clustering them, uncovering hidden correlation patterns across completely different departments. Then the financial AI models step in. They literally simulate the exact cost of leaving a problem unsolved, and they rank these problems strictly by their potential ROI and human impact. You can see that highlighted as a clear target zone right here. The system doesn't just find problems, it mathematically prioritizes the absolute most valuable ones for us to solve. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. Once the best ideas are drafted, they are dropped through instant, multi-layered agentic filters. Before a human writes even a single line of code, specialized agents are stress testing these ideas against technical reality, compliance rules, and user adoption metrics. It's like a high-speed gauntlet. And only the absolute best, most viable concepts make it to the bottom to become actual solution blueprints. Let's break down the density of those automated filters really quick. Filter 1 has system agents instantly checking API compatibility and architectural constraints. Filter 2 deploys specialized legal agents, yes, legal agents, to flag regulatory, security, or data privacy risks super early in the game. Then Filter 3 runs synthetic user tests, basically bouncing the idea off AI-simulated personas to predict if real users will actually adopt it. And the final output? Generative AI drafts complete technical architectures. These are your solution blueprints for only the surviving, fully filtered concepts.
Okay, Section 4, prototyping and continuous iteration. This is where things get really tangible. Welcome to the autonomous prototyping pipeline. It all starts with AI code assistants converting those wireframes directly into functional front-end mockups. But get this, it doesn't stop at the UI. The workflow automatically spins up synthetic backends, mock databases, and tests the APIs. It even automates your data pipelines by generating synthetic datasets, so you can test the system at scale before you ever build heavy infrastructure. The final output is a deployed agentic MVP, complete with microagents already embedded inside to automate early manual tasks for the user. It is a real game changer. Now you might be wondering what happens when real users actually interact with this MVP. Well, Phase 5 introduces observability agents. These NLP agents track telemetry autonomously, flagging exactly where users pause, click, or fail, almost like tracking a digital heartbeat. When they detect minor UI bugs triggered by user errors, the AI executes self-healing code loops to actually rewrite and patch the code on the fly. No way, right? But it's true. And for the bigger issues, the system synthesizes real-time feedback from support channels and uses unpatched telemetry to auto-generate the product backlog for your very next sprint. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, the zero latency flywheel. Let's zoom out and look at the macro impact of all this. Look at the juxtaposition here. By directly connecting that raw telemetry flow from Phase 5 right back into the dynamic persona models from Phase 1, we create this continuous circular flywheel. The true power of the agentic workflow isn't just about scale or velocity. It is the absolute, complete elimination of latency between identifying a user's friction and actually deploying a customized solution to fix it. So the absolutely crucial point here is captured in this core insight. System design and code iteration are no longer discrete events governed by scheduled meetings. I really want you to let that sink in for a second. This is a fully automated engine now. Operational data is continuously updating those empathy models and pushing code, all without human intervention acting as a bottleneck. It is just a continuously self-optimizing baseline. Which leaves us with this final massive question to consider. Is your product team ready for zero latency development? As the gap between a user experiencing a problem and an AI deploying the solution shrinks down to zero, the way you structure your teams, your budgets, and your overall strategic vision, it has to adapt. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this gives you the blueprint you need to start your own transition toward the agentic workflow.